Welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Bruce Weiner.
And I'm Bill Littauer. Among our top stories on this program, a guilty verdict in the karate instructor sex abuse case.
A controversial zoning decision in the village of Mamaroneck.
Some good news for commuters in the town of Mamaroneck, but village of Mamaroneck taxis may cost more.
And some bad news about elementary school reading scores.
Those stories and more coming up. But first, Larchmont karate instructor Omar Gonzalez has been convicted of sexually abusing and sodomizing 3 teenage girls. The 32-year-old Gonzalez was accused of coercing them into performing sexual acts on him during the teaching of his karate course. The girls were 14, 15, and 16 at the time the acts occurred between 1984 and 1987. Gonzalez was teaching rape defense at his school called American Masters Martial Arts on the Post Road. He was acquitted on 2 rape counts. 25 other sex charges were dismissed.
The Mamaroneck Village Zoning Board has approved a 49-unit condominium development at 1035 East Boston Post Road. It would occupy 3 parcels, 2 of which are zoned for commercial use. But the third is zoned for single-family residential use, and approval of the condo complex has raised questions about the waterfront revitalization program. The Coastal Zone Management Commission was created to safeguard the waterfront. It recommended that the condo plan be rejected as a threat to nearby wetlands. Zoning board members disagreed, but they may have to defend their decision in court. Members of the Stewart Avenue Association say they may sue to block the project. LMC environmental reporter Greg Fetterbush discussed the issue with Association President Bill Coleman.
This development, right on the edge of Guyon Creek, where there's a bird sanctuary, it's a critical environmental area, that this development would not be good for the environment. We've all seen, the problems with our environment, the problems with the sound, and this is not the time to go against a board that has said not to do this. But the Zoning Board of Appeals, with the exception of the chairman, has decided to go ahead anyway, and we're outraged.
Would any buildings have to be torn down, Continental Manor or anything like that?
Yes, the developer is proposing to tear down Continental Manor, which is right on the Post Road, and that's zoned commercial. And to make that the parking garage, and then to put all the residential units mostly tucked down next to the sound with a swimming pool right on the edge of the sound.
The decision on whether to proceed with expansion of the Larchmont Village Hall apparently hinged on the cost to taxpayers. The original project to provide additional offices, a lunchroom, access for the handicapped, and more storage was put at about $1 million. A bond issue would cost $28 to $35 a year for the average taxpayer, about 2 or 3% on village taxes. But there was enough opposition that Trustee Jeffrey Young thought a referendum should be held on the project. Some decisions were due this week.
And now for our school news report, here's LMC News reporter Monique Citron.
Third grade reading scores declined sharply in 2 Mamaroneck elementary schools last year compared to the year before. School Superintendent Norman Kolb announced last week that only 84% of the district's third graders passed the pupil evaluation program exam compared with 91% the year before. The state comprehensive assessment report indicated that only 74% of third graders at Central School and 73% of Mamaroneck Avenue School scored above the state reference point. In contrast, 90% of the third grade students at Murray and 94% of third graders at Chatsworth passed the test. While reading scores declined, the results of other tests recorded in the CAR report showed the district students scoring in the high 90s range as they had in previous years. Superintendent Cole released the report, which is usually not available until December because of rumors about the low test scores. On a happier note, the following students from Mamaroneck High School have been chosen as semifinalists in the 1991 competition for National Merit Scholarships: Jennifer Abrams, Jeremy Barrows, Elizabeth Bradley, Jessica Lissy, and Abigail McAdden. Called Ribbons for Peace, and that's exactly why Rhinebeck F.E. Bellows students are tying yellow ribbons around in different places at their school. The idea is to show support for our troops in the Middle East. In an interesting sidelight, Rhinebeck has a number of students of Middle Eastern origin and who have been sharing their insights and feelings about the conflict with the rest of the school. The project is the creation of the F.E. Bellows Student Council, and it was announced in an assembly last week.
The two candidates for state senate from our district agree on one thing: crime is one of the most important issues facing them. Incumbent Susie Oppenheimer and challenger Paul Noto disagree, however, on how best to cope with the problem. Oppenheimer opposes the death penalty. Noto supports it. Oppenheimer wants a limit on assault weapons and stiffer penalties for bias crimes. Noto says limiting assault weapons isn't enough. He wants swifter punishment for criminals. He also suggests alternative sentences such as community work. They were interviewed recently by the Gannett newspaper.
Good news for commuters. The town of Mamaroneck has completed restoration of the municipal parking lot at Myrtle Boulevard and Vine Street. The lot was given new paving, new lighting, and better drainage at a cost of about $180,000. The Mamaroneck Village Chamber of Commerce is looking for help with its holiday decorating. The Chamber plans to light up a dozen more trees this year on Mamaroneck Avenue, Halstead Avenue, and the Post Road.
What position should the town of Mamaroneck take on the proposed expansion of the Westchester County Airport? That was one of the issues we took up recently with Town Council member Elaine Price.
The Director of Transportation from Westchester County came down to lobby for the 41,000 square foot terminal. 2 weeks ago, Marty Rogowski, who is a legislator from Harrison, came to speak in opposition.
Were there any results or anything that you can tell us that that happened last night in that regard, or is it still up in the air?
Well, we've asked for more information. Some of the figures presented last night simply do not make sense. Many of us were not persuaded by those figures, and we have asked for clarification, further information, and that will be forthcoming. We will need that before we can take a vote on it.
One last question. Is there a deadline for the for any decisions on the airport?
Well, it's on November 6th ballot, so before then.
Taxi fares may soon be going up in Mamaroneck. The Board of Trustees is considering a 50-cent per zone increase, partly to cover the higher cost of gasoline. The Board of Trustees has narrowed its list of applicants for the job of Mamaroneck Village Manager. 170 people applied for the job, vacated by Joseph Fraioli. The new manager is expected to take over the $70,000 a year job at the end of the year. A dozen applicants are still in the running.
Right now, I just want to tell you the Life Center here in Mamaroneck is local involvement for environment. This Saturday, October 20th, they're having another one of their nature walks at Manor Beach in Larchmont at 10 in the morning. Call the Life Center for more information. Also, this Saturday from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m., the Westchester County Department of Health is having a household chemical cleanup day at Rye Playland Amusement Park. So you can turn in all your old tires and batteries and chemicals and things like that. Call 285-6143 for more information. It's your world. Take care.
And that's our report for this week. If you'd like to join us and help produce our LMC News, just drop in any Thursday night about 7:30. We're in the Palmer Avenue building of the high school, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. I'm Bill Littauer.
And I'm Bruce Weiner. We'll see you again right here next week.
Straight the new way with this new implement to open. They can't. Ha ha.
No, you're gonna fall.
Oh.